Khloe Kardashian, and thank you for joining us on Nightly News today. Today we'll be discussing our bodies, more specifically the joints in our bodies. Every bone in our body joins with another bone except the hyoid bone in our neck. These joints are also known as articulations. These articulations allow our bones to be secure and mobile. That's why we classify them based off their function and structure. These classifications are synarthroses, which is immovable completely, amphiarthroses, which is slightly movable, and diarthroses, which allows for free movement. Now for a closer look at these joints, Dr. Pepper.
Today we're going to be learning about different types of joints. The first type of joint we'll be learning about are fibrous joints. Fibrous joints are connected by fibrous tissues. They have irregular edges that are bound by connective fibers. An example are the sutures of the skull. Syndesmoses is an example of connective fibers. The second type of joint are the cartilaginous joints. These are what bones are connected with. An example is the pubic symphysis. Articulating joints are held together and connected with fibrocartilage. The last of the joints are the synovial joints. These are joints where articulating bone ends are separated. The joint cavity contains synovial fluid. They account for all the joints of the limbs.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper. And now for a deeper look into our joints and what can happen to them if you get hurt.
Hey, Ms. Kardashian, glad to be here. If you want to hop over to my lab, let's take a look at the 6 different kinds of joints.
The first kind of joint we're going to be looking at is called a plane joint. So instead of being rounder like some of the other joints we'll get into later, both sides of each bone are flat and they kind of rub together like this, so they can't go around rotationally, but they can go side to side like this.
The second kind of joint we're going to be learning about is called a hinge joint. It's called this because it's very much like a door hinge in the fact that you have one cylindrical shaped bone at the end that fits into the hollow column of another and moves like so in the elbow. The third kind of joint we're going to be looking at is called the pivot joint. So called because you can pivot just like this as there's one in your neck. With a pivot joint, you have the ball end of one bone that fits into the hollow sleeve or ring of another bone. The next joint we're going to be looking at is called a condyloid bone. It's found in your wrist, and it's what makes it go like this because one egg-shaped surface fits into the concavity of another surface of bone. Okay, the fifth kind of joint, second to last, we're almost there, don't worry, is the saddle joint. And it's so called the saddle joint because there are convex and concave areas on each side of the bone that fit together like a saddle. And you can see it here in the top part of your finger bones. Okay, the last kind of joint we're going to be talking about is the ball and socket joint. And it's called the ball and socket joint pretty easily because one bone has an end that's shaped like a ball and the other bone has a concavity shaped like a socket. And so one fits inside the other and allows for rotational movement like your shoulders and your hips.
Now that you're more familiar with the different kinds of joints, let's take a look at a kind of joint disease called arthritis. It's the inflammation of the joints, and although it sounds scary, it's actually very common, and most people have it in one form or another, whether it be osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or gouty arthritis. Pain treatments can include anything from aspirin or painkillers to rubbing hot peppers over the surface of the skin.
Oh, hi, and thank you, Stacy. Now that we know what could possibly go wrong with our bones, let's talk about how we can possibly repair it. Okay, so here are a couple things I researched. We actually have 3 techniques as of right now. Electrical stimulation of fractured sites, ultrasounds, and free vascular fibular graft techniques.